Lecture 5, Handling Conflict. In this, we would deal with the topic of conflict in change situation and conflict management. Now, more conflict occurs in environments with higher levels of uncertainty and ambiguity, environments where there is a risk-adverse attitude. They occur in environments with high diversity of stakeholders, unclear priorities, or even tight resource constraints. Now, too much or too little conflict can create an unhealthy environment. Change managers face tensions which must be resolved to avoid delays to the change initiative. Like resistance, not all conflict is bad. It can be an important part of an organization's and team's cultures, supporting them in driving innovation and collaboration through constructive challenge. Critical aspects of conflict include interdependency between parties, individuals, or groups, and the perception of contradictory goals, attitudes, or values. The change manager will work with change leaders and networks to identify any factors that might generate generate an unhealthy environment and to manage their impacts on the change outcomes. Conflict in change situations, sources of conflict. Now, the first steps in resolving conflict are to identify the problem and what caused the tension. I'm sorry. Psychologists Art Bell in 2002 and Bret Hart in 2000 identified 8 sources of conflict as listed on the slide. The first one is needs. Change will involve competing for scarce resources, recognition, and power. Any claim that threatens their availability will create conflict. Another source is styles. Those delivering change will have different approaches to dealing with people and problems. These differences create conflict. Another source is perceptions. People see the world through their own lenses. Differences in experiences of events can create conflict. For example, conflict can occur when a change team with a variety of assigned roles perceives that work allocated to a member of the team does not match assigned responsibilities, creating rumor and gossip as to why. Another source is goals. Change can create a moving target of deliverables as stakeholders negotiate and renegotiate according to developing conditions. The tension of time versus quality is a regular cause of conflict, as is the ability to deliver against resource availability. Pressures is another source. Change by its nature can create pressure within organizations, especially when trying to maintain business as usual activities and performance levels. Roles is another source of conflict. Situations can exist when one team member may view a task as their responsibility, but where roles are not clear, others may see the task as their own, and conflict can result. Personal values is another source. Values are meaningful for people. When challenged, it can be a sensitive and emotional cause of conflict. For example, an individual may find their ethical values challenged if an organization focused on profitability at the expense of things such as customer service, product quality, or people protocols, etc. And finally, unpredictable policies is a source of conflict. The absence of clear policies or policies that are constantly changing can create an environment of uncertainty and conflict. So how do we deal with them? Dealing with conflicts. If handled well, conflict can deliver positive outcomes. Benefits include increased understanding, group cohesion, self-knowledge, creativity, and trust. Change brings challenges and tensions. Effective managers bring these to the surface and encourage debates that will highlight issues that need to be dealt with. Change managers need to be aware of their own style and attitude towards conflict if they are to manage tension successfully. There are models and tools that help our understanding and resolution of conflict situations. In the 1970s, Kenneth Thomas and Ralph Kilman identified 5 main styles of dealing with conflict that vary in their degree of cooperativeness and assertiveness. Assertiveness is defined as behaviors that are used to meet personal needs, and cooperativeness is defined as behaviors that are used to meet the needs of others. They suggest that people typically have a preferred style for dealing with conflict, noting that different styles may be used in different situations. They developed the Thomas Kilman conflict mode instrument, TKI, which captures the styles and helps to identify a person's preference when conflict arises. So what are the different styles of dealing with conflicts? There are models and tools that help our understanding and resolution of conflict resolutions. Over here we have a few styles of dealing with conflict. There is a competing style. So this person usually takes a firm stand, knows what they want, usually operate from a position of power, drawn from factors such as position, rank, expertise, or persuasive ability. The strengths and negatives include competing is appropriate when decisions need to be made quickly, the decision is unpopular, defending against someone who's trying to exploit the situation for their own purpose. So competing is quite appropriate there in these situations. However, it can leave people feeling bruised, unsatisfied, and resentful when used in less urgent situations, such as prolonged periods of change. Another style is accommodating. Now, this person has a willingness to meet other person's needs at the expense of their own, knows when to give in to others, but may surrender a position even when it is not necessary, is not assertive, is highly cooperative. Accommodation is appropriate when the issues matter more to the other party. Peace is more valuable than winning. A manager wants to be able to collect on this favor. However, people may not return favors, and overall, this approach is unlikely to lead to the best outcome. Creativity and interest are stifled, and a loss of credibility or or self-confidence by the manager may follow as a result. A few more styles are laid out on this particular slide. There is the avoiding style. This person seeks to avoid the conflict entirely, delegates controversial decisions, accepts default decisions, does not want to hurt anyone's feelings. Avoiding is appropriate when the controversy is trivial, someone is in a better position to solve the problem, whether it is a short-term measure in waiting for a better moment. However, in many situations, this is weak and ineffective approach to take, avoiding the root of the conflict and increasing its potential to resurface later down the lane. Another style is the collaborating style. So this person seeks to meet the needs of all people involved, can be highly assertive, cooperates effectively, unlike the competing style, acknowledges that everyone is important. And this is a useful approach when a manager needs to bring together a variety of viewpoints to get the best solution, when there has been previous conflicts in the group, and when the situation is too important for a simple trade-off. However, it can be time-consuming and may not be the best suited where an immediate decision is required for survival or safety reasons. And the last style is a compromising style. This person tries to find a solution that will at least partially satisfy everyone, expects everyone to give up something. Compromise is useful when the cost of conflict is higher than the cost of losing ground. Equal strength opponents are at a standstill and change deadlines are approaching. However, it results in a lose-lose outcome and can lead to repeat conflict further down the lane or adversely affect collaboration where an unfair outcome is perceived.